Hello and welcome back, or welcome to Shifting Skies, the channel where I show videos of me speedrunning through all of the paintings that I do and remember to film. Uh, this piece that I'm working on in this video, it was a whirlwind. It was a piece that I had started a while ago, and it was originally inspired by a book series. The Mortal Instruments. I don't know if any of you out there have actually read that book series, but I own almost all of it, and I really love that series. And considering how crazy that series is, I should have expected it to make an impact on how crazy this painting was going to be, because I had done the base layer in watercolor, and then I had set it aside and completely forgot about it. And when I came back to finish it, I had realized I didn't really want to paint that anymore, but I still really loved the concept. So I took my own character, not based off of the story Immortal Instruments, from a story that I myself had been working on for a little while. I was thinking of turning it into a webtoon, but I haven't even gotten that far yet. I have a couple comic strips sketched out, but it's nothing like finalized. But I took this character, I redrew him on top of the concept art, redid all of the anatomy, and then I went to work on the background. And the original idea was that I was going to have this character, who has wings like a seraphim, chained up to the ceiling in the Olympian Hall of the Gods, being judged by the gods. But I couldn't quite seem to get the mood right, and I ended up scrapping the whole idea again. But I spent like quite a few days actually just working on this original concept, trying to get the lighting right, trying to get the background to work with me, the shading, trying to figure out why it just wasn't looking right. And it's important for me to show that your artwork doesn't always come out how you expected it to. Things don't always go as planned. And it's okay to let yourself change things, even if you're like 90% of the way done with a painting or a drawing or whatever it is that you're working on. And so through the bulk of this video, you're gonna see me working on that original concept that I had, well, the second original concept I had for this painting, I guess, because I technically scrapped it like 2 separate times, if you think about it. want to make a note around here. You can see that I'm working in the dark, and that is because I work a full to part-time job washing dishes at a diner in my hometown. So in order to get this piece done, which also almost didn't happen, I was literally working day and night on this. I was working on it before I went to work, on my days off, when I got home from work at like 11, midnight, whatever time it was. And on that note, this video itself also almost didn't happen. I say that, knock on wood, if I could find any. Because I've been having a lot of technology issues. If you guys follow my Instagram page, you will know that technology has never been my friend. There are so many videos that did not make it to this YouTube channel simply because they wouldn't export out of my video editing program. The files for the videos themselves got corrupted before they even hit the program. It either just didn't record. In this particular case, I had over 16 hours worth of footage, and I am still editing videos on the Chromebook I bought for high school back in 2021. As of making this video, it is 25. So it's probably about time for an upgrade. My computer really can't handle anything, actually. It can't handle any kind of files or anything large, like a almost hour-long video, let alone the hours and hours worth of footage that I had on there. And then that means I don't have Microsoft on my Chromebook. It's all docs. And so I couldn't use the program I had been using to edit my videos on my computer anymore, because it did an update, and it was only allowing you to use it if you had a Microsoft account, which I do not have. And I'm not creating a Microsoft account just to edit videos for free on a program that I would end up having to pay for anyways. Luckily for me, for the smaller videos that I have been posting on my Instagram Reels, and even some of my more recent YouTube videos that were much smaller in size, I have been using an app called InShot on my phone. Now see, the issue I had was my original program that I was using, I couldn't access it anymore. All of my video files were on my computer. So I ended up having to download CapCut and then do all of the speeding things up in that, export that, and then after I exported it, my computer crashed, and then I couldn't find the video that had exported at all. It was not on my computer anywhere. A few days go by, and I'm just scrolling through videos trying to delete them off of my phone because I had recently finished editing a different YouTube video on my phone, and I found the video for this on my phone. I don't know how it got to my phone from my computer after exporting from CapCut, but that is in fact the only reason I was able to do any of the rest of the editing, the title screen, the voiceover you're listening to right now, the end card, the music, all of it. I would not have been able to do that if it was not on my phone. So then, if only to make things worse, after I had gotten all of the editing done, aside from the voiceover that I'm doing as of right now, I went for a walk in the rain, because who doesn't love a walk in the rain? And I took my phone with me. For those of you who don't know me in real life, I am an absolute klutz. And my phone, a while ago, decided it wanted to go for a high jump out of my pocket and face planted on the street. And the entire screen is completely cracked. There's bits of it missing. And so I went for a walk with that in the rain. And for a while, it wasn't letting me get into my phone. Like, I couldn't unlock it. I was thinking I was gonna end up having to scrap everything on my phone and get a new phone. So I was looking at new phones while my current phone was soaking in rice and just praying to whoever is up above that my phone would be fine and I wouldn't have to immediately go and get a new phone. And thankfully that worked, and I can bring this video to you. and we have finally reached the point in the video where you realize everything that I was working on is about to be completely scrapped. I had realized that I really was not happy with how this piece was turning out. It just was not working. I didn't like really anything about it aside from like the figure in the middle, to be honest with you. It was the only thing that was giving the right vibes, if that makes any sense. So I took a walk to the dollar store and bought me some painter's tape. And I came home, I completely covered the figure in painter's tape and started to trim around it. And using the little light that I have clipped to my easel here, I was doing my absolute best to trim it down accurately around the figure, and I couldn't see at all. It was so difficult, and I ended up cutting through the canvas multiple times in multiple areas. Luckily I didn't cut it enough to cut the entire figure out, but when I was doing it with all of the tape on top of the figure all at once, I was cutting through layers and layers of tape, and I really just could not see the details that I needed to see to cut through it accurately. And there were points where I was cutting through the canvas, but I was not cutting through the tape, and that was so aggravating. And as you can see here, I completely missed all of his feet, got really mad, and decided I was going to just completely redo everything, just doing one limb at a time. And that is what ended up working. And with the last piece of tape up on the character, I went over it with some Mod Podge, hoping that that would keep it all together and seal it a bit to help keep the paint that I was going to put over top of it from bleeding through, because even though it is painter's tape, I have trust issues. I have had painter's tape fail on me before, and it was not fun. Here, I am doing my absolute best to mend the holes that I mentioned that I had poked through the canvas. So I had some scrap fabric lying around. I went over the back of the canvas in Mod Podge, and then I covered the piece of fabric with Mod Podge, and then I put the piece of fabric on the canvas and went over it again with Mod Podge. And then I repeated that for the smaller area, all of the exact same steps. And something that you don't get to see in the video, but I did do later on, is when I was varnishing the piece, I also varnished the back of the piece in a last call, last resort kind of hope, fingers crossed, that it would hold everything together. And this is when I made the video of I completely wrecked this painting. I went over it with spray paint. I first went over it with white spray paint, and then black, and then gold, and then blue, and then yellow, and then blue again, and then silver. And then I took a sponge and I blended it all together, doing my best to try and make it kind of cohesive. Here I am going through and sketching a new idea on top of the spray paint with my paint markers, and just kind of trying to figure everything out, if that makes sense. Laying down a new concept, and I decided that I was going to base this concept off of some nightmares that I've had in the past. So when I said that this isn't a piece for the faint of heart, it doesn't mean that it's a little gory. It has a lot of darkness in it, but I also kind of wanted to stay true to the original idea that I had of the character, so I decided I would just draw him paint him at a different point in the story. And so that is exactly what I did. After the spray paint dried, I started going over it with oil paint. And I wasn't necessarily trying to cover up all of the spray paint. I was mostly trying to get them to blend together, kind of, to make it kind of seem ethereal. I think that's the word I'm looking for. It probably isn't. It might not even be a real word. I might have just come up with that. But, I really wanted to just make it feel dark and unnatural and cold and wet, and my fiance has used the word claustrophobic to describe this piece on many, many occasions, so do with that what you will. But essentially, that light source right above his head is a pan of Greek fire, which is essentially just a green flame, to my understanding. If not, it's probably just a really cool green flame, if that's not what Greek fire is. Well, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Here you can see me going in and darkening up the edges, making things it's going to end up looking smoky. Like, not really a mist. It's too thick to be a mist. It's almost a supernatural type of darkness that just is taking the form of smoke, kind of. And I really, really, really was just trying to emphasize the unnatural feeling that was going on in this piece. I was really trying to make him feel... I really wanted to make it feel like he was in a cellar of sorts. And I think it worked. So it was at this point where I had to decide whether I wanted to do stone or tile on the floor, and I ultimately ended up with loose stones because I wanted to make this feel as uncomfortable as possible, and tile just felt a little too sleek and clean, and I really wanted to emphasize the discomfort of this piece. And here I don't have a detail brush that is small enough and accurate enough to do the tiny details I really wanted to do for the chains that was holding him up underneath the pan fire, or the pan of fire that is above his head. So I had to go in with my Posca marker and actually just draw that in. Here I'm flipping through my sketchbook because I decided I wasn't going to keep all of the original tattoos that I had sketched on him for the original piece I had been working on, but I did want to keep some of the more important tattoos. So I went through my sketchbook, found another sketch of him to find the tattoos that I wanted to do, and I had to go back through and draw them on with a not paint marker, it was a micro pen. And I don't think you can see that from this distance in the video, but you can most definitely see it on the piece. I genuinely actually just really enjoy drawing tattoos on my paintings, the characters in them, that is. So I'm always looking for an excuse to draw tattoos on them. And here's the finished piece, along with a little snapshot of my current shop as of August 25, and the name of my website. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a good day. All of the links are below.